Okay, so let's get start with the clean slate. Well, the first thing there is to get is that you don't have one. You don't have a clean slate. It's filled with stuff. Your slate is dirty. Okay, it's filled with a lot. All right, so we're going to do an exercise right now, and this is when I want you to get that paper, the loose leaf paper, something separate, and something to write with, and a comfortable way to write on it. So you can pause me if you don't have it. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going. All right, so when it comes to your slate, right? And what has it not be that clean slate that we all speak to and we just want so much, right? One of the places to look is to the views of other people. All right, there's other people that have said things to us, or even just how they are. So we're going to start with the parents, okay? And look at your mom. So I want you to write down, what was your mom or whoever the mother figure was in your life? So if you didn't grow up with your mom, you grew up with your grandmother or your aunt, then I would use her. What is she or was she like in a relationship? So, if your parents were together, then what was your mom like in that relationship from your eyes? What did you see? Or if you had a single mom, did she have any relationships? What were her relationships with men like or not like? And again, if at any time you need more time to answer these, just pause, just put a pause on the recording, okay? And then I want you to look at, what do you assume that she wants for you? And you can look at, for what does she want for you, for your life, for your relationships, either in all your relationships. The more specific you can get, in a loving relationship, what are all the things that you assume that she wants for you? And then also include, what has she actually said? What are some of the things that she said that she wants for you in your life? So you can look at her expectations. You can look at her values or the results that she wants. Maybe your mom really wants you to, be married with children, white picket fence, a certain amount of money per year. I don't know, right? A certain size house. She may have those specific results, or maybe not. It might be something different. So what do you assume she wants for you, and what has she actually said? We want to include, because all of that is a part of the construct, okay? It includes both. And then I also would like you to include, when you look at your mom, what does being a woman mean to her? Now, this will probably be a combination of what you've heard her say and what you assume. That's fine. What does being a woman mean to your mom? And again, pause it if you need some more time. Otherwise, we'll move on. Now we're going to look at the views that came from your dad. So first, let's just check it out. What was he like in a relationship? What was your dad or your father figure like in a relationship? And if either your mom or dad wasn't around growing up, like if you grew up with one and you honestly just didn't know the other, likely you had that figure in your life somewhere. It might have been a teacher, it might have been an aunt, it might have been someone on TV, right? But preferably someone in your life, if possible, that dad or that dad figure. Now, even if your dad wasn't in your life, but he might not have been raising you, there still may be things about him, like what he was like in a relationship, that'd be worth noting. And then you might also do this for a second father figure in your life. I know for me, I grew up, my parents divorced when I was 2. So the views from my dad very much impacted me, but same with my stepdad, because he was actually who I grew up living with. So both were a part of this for me. So what was he like in a relationship? What do you assume he wants for you in your life, in your relationships, in your career? What has he actually said he wants for you? And what are his expectations, his values, his results? That would all be included in what you assume he wants or what he said he wants. So you could look again to the expectations, the values, or specific results. I remember, my dad didn't mean anything by it, I'm sure, and he would not even remember it now, but this really imprinted on me. I remember him saying to me, I remember him saying, I want you to have a really nice back because that's something that's really beautiful to a woman. Or he said something, I don't remember the exact words of it, but what I heard, because I had the little rolls, I still do, on my back. And I heard that as I need to be skinny to be attractive. And I've always been self-conscious of any bathing suits or dresses or tops that showed that part of my back that wasn't what I thought my dad wanted for me. So think back to some of your memories of what you assume he wants, what he said. And remember, we're doing all of this not to point blame and not to decide anything. We just want to get out on the table some of the things that are muddling up, adding to your view. People say what they say. They think what they think. If you have kids, you've got views that are imprinted on them. Okay. And you know it, right? And then I'd also like you to add, what does being a woman mean to your dad? Not like he's a woman, of course. How does he view being a woman? What does it mean? What does he think being a woman means? Now, I'd like you to look, this is where you need to look for yourself. What other people have influenced you? And I want you to do the same thing, ask the same questions about different people in your life. So for me, for example, my step parents would be people I would include. There is, let me think, who else? It's like key friends, key people in my life, other mentors that I've had. I wouldn't pick a whole bunch of people, maybe 3 more people. And I want you to look to see, they'd be key people that have influenced you either as a child or as an adult, but someone that really does, you've held their view in high enough regard that it might have influenced you, or you were young enough and they were in your life enough that it would have influenced you. Okay, so take some time and do that now. And you will want to press pause here. Okay, now we want to look at your view. Now, this is a bit tricky. This is an opportunity for you to really tell the truth to yourself. I remember saying to all of you before working with me, one thing that's really important is not just that you're open and honest with me, but you're open and honest with yourself. And it can get tricky because our brain does some wonky things when we go to tell the truth to ourselves, right? We start analyzing, thinking it. But see if you can stay out of your head here enough to do this part of the exercise. So let's have a look at what your view is. What were you like in a relationship? So just go, what were you like in a relationship? Any past relationships? What were you like? And remember, press pause anytime. What should you have in your life? What should you have in your life? And then have a look, what do you have or what don't you have? Particularly relative to those shoulds. So as you're going through the shoulds and what you have and don't have, and when I say life, I mean your whole life, okay? I know Power Love Project, the main thing we're focusing on is having that love life you're really looking for, but it really does include your whole life. So I want you to look at career, ambitions, achievements, success, relationships, lifestyle, you know, your character, your personality, your appearance, all of it. Finances. What should you have in your life? What do you have or don't have relative to those? Look to your expectations, your values, and specific results. And what does being a woman mean to you? Now, this is a part where you want to separate the right answer. You know, there's what we've figured out over time, what we've learned over time. See if you can separate yourself from that and just listen quietly. What does being a woman mean to you? It'll probably include both positive and negative things. And are your views beginning to change or appeared flawed or false? I want to look for you. We're going to be doing is a healing session for that clean slate, that blank canvas that we all strive for. Now, before we do, I want you to take those pages. So if you haven't finished, please don't move forward in this training until you've really filled up those pieces of paper. Like really, there's nothing else to write. So if you need more time, then stop now and come back to it and then continue from here on. Okay, so if you're still here, I'm assuming that you finished that first part, which is really great. And I want you to take that piece of paper of your views from your dad, hold it up. I wish I had one. I don't have one. All right, yes, I will. Hold it up. And I want you to tear it up. He's not wrong. He didn't mean to hurt you or confuse you or stray you the wrong way. You're just going to tear that up. And then I want you to take the views from your mom. Guess what? Tear it up. Tear it up. Tear it up. I don't want to waste more paper right now, so I'm not. Okay, tear it up. She didn't do anything wrong either. She didn't do anything wrong either, but any of those views, you're going to tear it up. It's not serving you. And I want you to go through each of those other 3 people that have influenced you, where they've given you advice, they've helped you understand who you are. It might even be really useful stuff, guys. It's okay. You're still going to tear it up. So tear it up. Even if you're like, oh, I really like what I wrote, tear it up. And even take those views that you have, even if they include extraordinary lessons learned or things you want to remember to not think again. Tear it up. And you don't have to figure out what it means to tear it up or any of it, just let it go. And then now you probably have a whole bunch of pieces of paper. So if you need to take a moment just to clear the clutter, feel free to take a moment and do that. I'm going to do that. Okay, so we're nice and clean again. Okay, good.